In Syria's long war, there are many fronts and scores of enemies. This is the city of Al-Bab in northern Aleppo. Here, the victory belongs to the Free Syrian Army and the defeat to the so-called Islamic State. Everyone has a foreign backer here. For some, it's Russia or America. For Sultan Murad Division, it's Turkey. This is hallowed ground for the Islamic State. The tiny village of Dabik was a beacon, drawing in foreign fighters from across the globe. Dabik was a great symbol for the Islamic State group. It's here the Prophet Muhammad said that Muslims would defeat the Romans. This is also the spot where Britain's Jihadi John murdered the American aid worker Peter Kasich. IS were right about one thing though. This is a place of reckoning, but it's the place of their defeat. They've now been driven more than 100 kilometres from here, and these days they don't make much mention of Dabik. To the south of Al-Bab, the FSA face a different enemy, the Syrian regime. There's a wary truce on these front lines. The regime are only 150 metres away. And now that it's free from IS, the displaced from Aleppo and Raqqa are heading to the security these men offer. Airstrikes are no longer a threat, but the Islamic State's roadside bombs and booby traps are everywhere. Villages and towns here have been fought over by so many factions, it's hard to identify who bombed where. And for some, it's even a struggle to find what remains of the family home. In the battle against IS, this village changed hands more than half a dozen times. This war has been a shattering experience, but in many respects, it's no longer Syria's war. The decisions to attack the next town, the next village, they aren't taken here any longer. They're taken in Ankara, in Moscow, and in Washington. The next big battle, the final battle with the Islamic State, will take place in Raqqa. But that will only happen if the opposition forces stop fighting each other first.
Our first enemy was IS. We have defeated them. Now we face some separatist terrorist groups that want to divide Syria. So after the fall of Aleppo, we have two enemies, the separatists and the regime. And for us, there was no difference between the two.
His men are mostly Syrian Turks. They accuse their neighbours and blood enemies, the Kurds, of trying to split the country. The rebuilding of Al-Bab is already underway. In Syria, it takes a lot of confidence to replace your windows. But the damage done here isn't just to buildings. It extends deeper into Syria's ethnic fabric. Amid the ruins, this was an IS headquarters. You find reminders of the victims, the disappeared, the lost, and the dead. New and rich wells of hatred are being formed. Inside these four walls, Syria's hopelessness is revealed. When the jailer enters the cells, they must stand and face the wall. All of these men are Syrians. Some joined the Islamic State. Others, no more than boys, fought for the Kurds with American backing. And some fought for President Assad, helped by Russia.
Because of the joblessness in Syria, I had no salary to look after my children. So I had to join the fighting. Foreign interference here has only caused more destruction. People are killing each other.
These men joined IS.
The different people and groups here despise each other more and more. War only increases hatred. It never lessens it.
These men will likely be exchanged in a prisoner swap. Some came to fight for IS, others to destroy it. That war may be approaching an end, but there will be no rest in Syria, and the people who make up this country will likely find themselves cast even further apart.